Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. The Bureau of Internal Revenue hits its collection target for 2024. The Tax Bureau says collections reached 2.848 trillion pesos. For the first time, it met its full target in 20 years. BIR Commissioner Romeo Lumagui attributes this accomplishment to the dedication of Bureau employees to the service and reforms in the agency. Efforts to cleanse its ranks of corruption are also making headway. Once touted as one of the most corrupt agencies in government, the BIR is now being recognized for its integrity management program. Let's get on point with BIR Commissioner Romeo Lumagui. Commissioner, thank you for your time. It's good to have you here in the Billionaire News Channel. Wala po tayo sa PTV4.
Thank you also for having me and for being to be able to discuss what we've been doing in BIR.
Yeah, it's good news, the 2024 target. You met the 2024 target or even above the target, way above the target?
Yes, the target set by DBCC was 2.848 trillion. Now, as of now, tentative figure, we have about 2.86 trillion. So we're still reconciling some of the figures. That's why it's not yet final, but it can only go up. So definitely, we're able to hit the DBCC target.
And it's true that this is the first time the BIR reached its target in 20 years. What would you attribute this milestone to?
Yes, it's definitely a very important milestone for us because, again, for the past 20 years, BIR has not achieved the full target set by the DBCC. And what we attribute this to is, of course, the dedication and hard work of our officials, and also the voluntary compliance by the taxpayers, which I think was made possible because of the reforms that we were able to implement in the BIR for 2024 or even before. Like we streamlined the processes for the BIR. Like it's the first time that a government agency was fully ISO certified in 2024. 100% ISO certified for all the district offices and the regional offices.
And what does that mean for for better understanding?
Yes, the ISO certification means that all the processes are streamlined, standardized, and transparent. So we have a shortened process. We really examine and we follow the procedures that we really set for it to be more convenient for the taxpayers. So essentially, it's giving better services to the taxpayers. And also, what we did was the integrity management program. We also focused on that. And because that would result in the institution to have an integrity and the professionalism in the institution. And I think that's important for us to gain the trust of the taxpayers, because I believe that when we get the trust and confidence of the taxpayers, their voluntary compliance would also increase. Because if they trust the agency, then definitely you'd comply. I'd like to believe that taxpayers would really want to help the government and our country to raise the necessary funds for the government's projects.
Especially if we know where the our funds actually go, where
Yes.
our tax money actually goes, where government uses them. While we're on that subject, I want to jump to what you were saying, integrity management program. I think it was in maybe a year ago or a year and a half, sometime in 2013, I just read an article wherein senators were saying that, 2023 rather, that senators were saying that they were quite worried about the low salary, or at least entry level, of employees in the BIR, which actually could lead to corruption. And again, as mentioned in our opening, once touted as the most corrupt agency in government. What changed since you headed the BIR?
Well, first, that's an important issue. And we've been lobbying for BIR's exemption from the salary standardization law. Because right now, if you compare BIR salaries with the other government agencies, it's really very low, like more than double for other government agencies. In fact, even triple.
Yeah.
So it's really very alarming. That's why we really can't get accountants or even lawyers
But
to,
why
to
is
join
that?
us.
I think it was compared to lawyers entering the BIR compared to lawyers in the Civil Service Commission, and there was a disparity of at least 100% difference.
Right. Not just in civil service, like for example, Department of Justice or Commission on Audit. All these government agencies, we're actually the lowest. That's why it has to be, I hope that it will be addressed, and we've been talking with Congress for us to be able to get that exemption.
Yeah, so in other words, you should be able to reach the same rank of those employees that enter, for example, the DOJ, the Civil Service Commission, etc. Dapat pantay.
Yes.
Bakit iba?
Well, because that's how the salary standardization law is for BIR. So nandyan po tayo, we cannot do anything about it except that hopefully with the exemption of BIR from the SSL.
Are you getting, are there still vacancies? Are you attracting enough people into the BIR?
We have lots of vacancies. The total plantilla for BIR is around 21,000. And right now we have about more than 16,000 warm bodies. So we have a lot, especially, so the problem also is in the provinces, we really can't hire accountants and lawyers in the provinces.
Sayang.
Sayang din talaga. Of
That's
course.
about 5,000 vacancies.
Yes, around that.
Yeah, that's a lot because you said you're at 16,000 right now and the plantilla is 21,000.
Yes.
Yeah, that's about 5,000 vacancy. Okay, so is that in the works though?
Yes, it is.
To be able to increase the salary of employees in the BIR.
Yes, the exemption. From,
The exemption, from
SSL.
the salary
Yes.
standardization law. Okay. So 2024, you exceeded the target. Let's talk about 2025. Meron na ho bang a collection target from the DBCC to the BIR? How much are you supposed to collect?
The tentative collection target for 2025 is around 3.2 trillion. So that's a double-digit increase from 2024's collection target.
So from 2.86, you are expected to collect 3.2.
Yes.
Tama?
Tama.
And are you confident you'll be able to do this?
Yes, we're confident because we've begun the changes or the reforms in the BIR. So it would be hopefully easier. The efficiency of BIR has increased. So hopefully with all the reforms and all the projects that are pending and even the further improvements that we're doing in BIR, we will be able to achieve this collection target.
Talk to us more about the plans and programs that are pending right now that can make maybe tax collection more efficient.
Well, first and most important is the digital transformation of the BIR. It will automate a lot of processes and it will improve the efficiency of the BIR, lesser interaction with our people, and that's also helpful for in terms of addressing the corruption issue, because the lesser that you have to deal with our officials, and definitely that would lessen
Less human interaction.
Less human interaction.
Yeah. Okay.
We also want to lessen the discretion as much as possible, and that's also addressed by automation processes, like for example, the issuance of a letter of authority or the audit procedure. Hopefully, we will be able to be in that situation where it's really the computer, it's an automated process that there's really a red flag in your reporting, in your financial statements. That's why you will be audited and not a human intervention where we just choose which companies to audit.
Right.
So,
And there are companies that actually really have a problem with this LOA and this audit procedure, sir.
Right. And we recognize that. And the first thing that I did when I assumed was to recognize all these problems and accept that these exist. Because if you don't accept that these problems exist, then definitely you won't be able to solve it, right? So I recognized it and then thought of ways on how to address all these issues. And this is one way to address that particular issue.
But when you talk about automation or digitalization, when do you see this in its full implementation, or where are you at least now?
In terms of the digital transformation, we've done a lot, accomplished a lot in addressing the short-term or the quick wins. For example, like we were able to finish the online registration and update system where taxpayers can register and update their information online. So that's working. Although of course there's it's not yet perfect because we're at that stage where we're just starting all these systems.
But implemented during your time?
Yes.
Okay.
So we also have a new website where it's very convenient to look at. All the e-services are there. And a lot of other e-services are pending. And the main core system, we're also improving that. We're also doing something about it. But of course, this involves procurement process. And it definitely, it will take time. And that's also one of my appeal to the taxpayers to hopefully be patient with us, because everything is in place. We're moving in the right direction. It's just that we just have to wait for it. And we see this happening, perhaps the pilot implementation is towards the end of 2026 and full implementation by 2027. So because we're
in full implementation of what?
Of the digital transformation, the modernization of all the systems. Like we hope to address the current complaint that we receive is our system is always down, and it will be addressed when all of these are in place.
All right, we still have a lot to discuss. More of our discussion with Commissioner Romeo Lumagui after the break. Stay tuned. This is On Point.
Ito po si Father Nono.
Ako po si Father Fiel Pareha.
Ako si Risa Singson Kaupeng.
Kape at pandasal na po tayo. Ito po si Cardinal Chito Tagle.
Welcome back. Still with us, BIR Commissioner Romeo Lumagui. So we were talking about last year's collection to next year's collection. The increase is about 400 billion pesos. Are there new measures that will allow you to be able to collect this money? For example, sir, online platforms, etc. How do you intend to be able to find ways, I guess, to augment or to add the revenue collection of the BIR?
Part of the increase in collection target is because of the estimated revenues from proposed new tax measures like the excise tax on single-use plastic. It's there, and
that's one.
Also for the mining, there's a proposed measure for that, and I think there are two others pending in Congress. So if all of these are passed, then that would help us attain that collection target. But more than that, we're actually focused on our efficiency, and part of that efficiency is going after these online transactions as well, because it hasn't been really monitored that well, because it's relatively new, like the shift from the traditional businesses to online.
So you're
businesses.
talking about RA 12023. Focusing on digital service providers?
That's a different matter altogether. The VAT on DSP, or the digital service providers, these are tax or VAT imposed on non-resident foreign corporations, meaning like if they don't have presence here but they offer services that our
kababayan tinatangkilik ng mga
Yes. So they don't pay taxes here.
Okay.
But it's already worldwide, it's an accepted practice that if a particular company can have subscribers or customers in another jurisdiction, then they have to pay VAT there. And we're actually late in the game in imposing this VAT on digital service providers.
The local industry found it a bit ano ba, threatening and unfair, rather,
Yes,
that the international ones were not being taxed and then
Right.
the local ones are being taxed. Okay, so you were talking about looking into more efficient collection on online
Yes.
companies.
Right,
Okay.
because they don't really report taxes or they don't report revenues when it's done online. So that's why we impose this withholding tax system on online sellers or on the platforms just middle of last year. So the first reporting was done in November last year. So hopefully the corresponding increase in income tax
Right.
or VAT would be felt this year, because what we're after is really the data or the total amount of transactions being done online.
And who is on top of this? Is it still going to be the BIR?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's very difficult to really monitor because
I mean, you're looking at what? All social media platforms that they can be involved in doing online selling.
yes. So that's where, but for the platforms, the official online selling platforms, we have no problem
Okay,
with
ano
those.
na yun? Yeah.
It's very easy because all the transactions pass through these platforms. It's what's difficult to monitor is the like a marketplace where the
Yeah.
buyer and the seller are direct to each
To
other.
each other, right.
Yes. But it's also we're also doing something about it. We're addressing that difficulty because that's why we want to impose. Or now it's also there's also a withholding tax imposed on the financial transactions as well. Like for example, credit card. If you use credit card, there's a withholding tax on when you use credit card. That's why although it's not allowed by law, that sometimes you have a different price when you use credit card and when you
Yeah,
do
actually,
cash
that is a bone
transaction.
of contention. It becomes a little confusing, even for me. Some actually say there is a, I don't know, 2% or 3% if you use your credit card, and some actually don't do that. Can you explain that to us?
That's actually not allowed by law. You have to have a uniform price when you do a cash purchase or through credit card. But I think it's one way to incentivize cash transactions, which I think perhaps one of the reasons why establishments would like cash transaction is because if it's through credit card, these transactions would be recorded
It
and
becomes
reported.
official.
Official.
Siguro just straight to the point, kasi kapag cash, pwedeng matago.
Pwedeng
Parang
matago.
ganon, oo. Okay.
So that's one reason why you can have a different price for cash transaction because, okay, I won't report this transaction anymore because it's a cash transaction,
That's so
unlike a
unfair.
credit card. Yes.
Right.
So now, since we have a lot of this digital financial transaction services like the GCash,
Right.
Maya,
Yeah.
so all these would also be imposed withholding
Withholding
tax.
tax.
So everything, all transactions that pass through all these payment platforms, we would be able to cover.
Right.
And that would address those transactions that do not pass online platforms.
You'll be able to monitor them,
Yes.
no? Kasi if they're passing through the formal channels. There's also a possible area where you can earn or collect revenue, sir, from the fake PWD cards. I know you weren't very happy with this. This is something we've discussed. Well, I've discussed with Resto PH, no? So here's the problem. Maybe just to put it to you that the restaurant owners, when they are presented with a PWD card, they take it at face value. They give the 20%. It's almost as if basically they can't question it because magagalit din naman po yung customer because there are disabilities that are not seen by the naked eye, are not physical, right? But it doesn't seem like, please correct me if I'm wrong, was the BIR also unhappy with the restaurants because of this PWD, to which you actually say there should be a standard card, for everyone wherever you're coming from. Kasi iba sa city ng Pasay, iba sa maybe Parañaque, iba sa Makati, etc. It becomes very confusing
Right.
for the restaurant owners. How can this be solved? And I understand that you were doing a crackdown on these fake PWD cards.
Right. Well, there's also a lot of revenue loss for us because of all these fake PWD cards. Actually, it's not fake because these are issued PWD cards. Some of them are really issued by the local government.
But there are really fake ones because they
But there
sell
are
it
also,
online. Yeah.
Yes, there are also fake ones, and there are the legitimate ones. But the underlying condition or the disability are the disabilities that they are not true. So what we're doing is we will coordinate with all these government agencies that are involved in issuing these PWDs, so that we will have to tell them that we have to be strict about issuing these. These
And there has to be
PWD
like
cards.
center to look into this data. It's almost as if they were saying that if you present the card, you can manually jot down the number and it'll appear if it's actually legitimate or not. Kasi nga,
Right.
because there are fake ones.
Yes, so that's important, and we're glad that it's now a subject of inquiry, and I hope that it will be addressed also, that there will be a uniform issuance of a PWD card, and we have to be stricter in implementing this. And of course, we can't blame the restaurant operators that they have to recognize all these cards and give incentives to the PWD card holders. But we have to give public awareness also on this particular issue.
And maybe also have a little bit more, siguro makonsensya din yung mga bumibili ng fake PWD cards, because basically you're cheating. You're
Yes.
cheating the system, you're cheating the government, and you're cheating the real persons with disabilities, those who really have disabilities. Was there a number by which you had estimated on losses due to these fake PWD cards?
Right now, we don't have an estimate on that, but I think based on figures sometimes that you can see companies claim these discounts as deductions, we can see that sometimes it's also substantial. So collectively, I think that would be substantial.
Sayang din
also.
yun,
Sayang din
Commissioner.
yung
Yeah.
revenues na yun.
Right, right. And nandaraya sila eh.
Tama, napakaganda ng intention ng
Yeah.
batas, and then, well, there you have all these to take
of it.
advantage.
Yeah. Okay, I hope that gets resolved the soonest possible time, although I'm not sure how. I guess they were saying nga na kung number lang naman ang titingnan mo, kung may data center talaga that you can put the numbers down or go to the website and put down the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and see, it'll come out that the name and the number will come out, then you know it's legitimate. Then, of
Right.
course, that should be honored. Tax refund, there's something I read on tax refund for foreigners or non-residents. This is new, sir?
That's new.
Okay.
The-
Ito yung pagpupunta tayong
Yes.
abroad, pwede tayong mag-tax refund. Ganun, now, we're going to implement it.
Yes,
Okay.
tax refund on tourists. So, but that's revenue loss for us.
I know,
So,
I know.
but of course, we support the policies of the government, and hopefully, I think I'm not sure about the initial figures that we will forgo on the revenue side, but we will implement that. Of course, we will support whatever is whatever the law provides. So that will be implemented this year.
This year, yeah. I think it's a purchase of at least 3,000 pesos per transaction. Ano
Yes.
po. And then they can, how much is the refund that they...
It's the VAT, so 12%.
ang makukuha nila. All right. Very interesting. During the break, we were talking about a revenue loss for government while we're at it on vape.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about that, sir, because government gets a lot of taxes from tobacco or cigarettes, no? But people have migrated, I guess, from cigarettes to vaping. What is government doing about this? Are you collecting the right or appropriate tax as compared to cigarettes?
So again, you're correct that we can see a shift from cigarettes, the users or smokers, from cigarettes to vape. And we've seen that the industry of vape is relatively new, in the sense that a lot of people just went into that business without thinking or without knowing that they have to register and pay excise tax on these products. So we really worked hard for public dissemination and public awareness on this particular issue. So we started a big raid in 2022, and then continued in 2023. And then we were doing a soft approach then. We were reminding the vape business people, like importers, distributors, and the retailers to register all these vape products and pay the excise tax. And then after that, now we're very strong against our enforcement on these products. That's why we're not just going after the importers, but also we're going after the retailers already.
So when you enter a shop, sir, that sells vape, ganun ho ba yun? You can enter and ask for the proper documentation from them?
Yes.
Kasi they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. You can see a lot of establishments. And in fact, even at night, you can see like mobile vendors across and in these night establishments. So,
Do you think you've disseminated information enough?
yes, we were able to do that. That's why the number of registered vape products increased drastically. And from about essentially zero collection from vape products in 2022, now we're more than, we've collected billions already for vape excise tax on vape.
Okay.
So we've seen an increase, but still not enough, because there are still brands out there that are not registered, and they still continue to do all these illegal activities.
But what about the tax itself on vape products? Is it commensurate to maybe cigarettes?
That's a problem also. The excise tax on cigarettes, it's considerably higher when we talk about like the consumption pattern of people, like if we count it per puff. So yan yung kailangan i-equals, and I think it's now a hot topic also in Congress and even in the Senate, that we have to adjust the excise tax rates for vape products.
I mean, sir, the reason for the increase in taxes in cigarettes was because of the health risk, right? And then you have vape, a relatively new product, which obviously will need a lot of study to find out, is it really safer than cigarettes, etc. It's so new that I don't think studies will really be able to tell us in certainty what the risk factors are, right? But because we were trying to stop people from, the government was trying to stop people from smoking, they should do the same with vapes.
Well, yes. I leave it to Department of Health on that particular issue, because again, we still don't know the health implication of vape. But as far as BIR is concerned, what we're after is the proper collection of all these excise tax that you must register. And it's also regulating the product is with the Department of Trade and Industry. So they're the ones registering and also looking at the compliance requirements for the product itself.
Lastly, let's talk about tax amnesty. What is the latest there? What is being offered by the government?
Well, right now, we still have an amnesty on estate tax. But as to general amnesty, we still don't have that. And I think, I'm not sure, I think it's in the talks, but I still don't know what stage that is in
So tax amnesty only on estate tax. Until when?
Until actually, I think this year.
2025. So there's still a whole year in 2025 for that.
I'm not really familiar on the exact date. But,
okay, so expectations this year. What can we expect from the BIR this year?
For BIR, well, you can expect that we will still continue to improve our systems and services. We are focused on that. We will also establish contact centers so that hopefully you won't need to go to our offices. You can just call, because right now if you call our office, nobody would answer because a lot of people are lined up in our district offices. So, but we will establish a dedicated contact center so that all your transactions, because we've seen that most of the transactions in our district offices can be done online or through phone call.
Sayang, no? Yeah.
Yes.
So people
imagine
don't
their
have
time,
to go there. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
effort and cost for our, especially in the provinces.
I hope you can do that soon, sir.
Yes.
That shouldn't be so hard to do.
It is hard because right now I still have to find budget for that. Because we presented it for budget, but it was disallowed by Congress.
I see.
So we're still trying to find ways on how to to give a budget to establish that contact center. But I'm really, because in other jurisdictions, they really have a huge contact center operations, like 1,000 employees for a contact center. So
And it just makes it easier for the taxpayers, right? After all,
Especially
we
in
are
the
the ones paying the
provinces.
tax. Yeah.
Like you have to travel 6 hours one way. So
Kawawa naman.
imagine when you can just call, and then a lot of these transactions can be done again through phone call and online. So we will still improve a lot of our services, and our taxpayers can rest assured that we are committed in improving our services, a new image for BIR. That's why we always tell them that this is a new BIR, and also we're focused on our integrity and professionalism.
Are you hoping that when there is, I guess, that reputation of being one of the most corrupt agencies, during your time, you're hoping that that will change?
Well, I believe that it has already changed. I mean, the improvement, meaning when you talk about corruption, I think we've already drastically improved in that aspect. And of course, I recognize that we still have to do a lot more. And we will still continue in addressing this integrity issue.
Commissioner Lumagui, sir, thank you so much for your time. Hope to have you again sometime soon.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. And that's On Point. Join us again tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. I'm Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.